human.
Sounds of hockey. Wild.
It's a covenant cleanup. We say stupid things all of the time.
Above average on that.
He ain't heavy. He's a punter.
Shall we begin?
All right, well, how are we going to handle this today? Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, the TCO radio studio, home to the Minnesota Vikings. And when I say how are we going to handle this today, it's yours truly, Paul Allen, with Nordo here, Mad Producer One. Follow him on X, Mad Producer One, if you're so inclined. And Double B, Brett Blakemore, co-host of the Packer Review podcast, is guiding the great ship Love Covenant at FM 100.3 KFAN. How are we going to handle this with that snot-nosed kid on the other side of the equation? And good morning.
Good morning. Well, we're a time slot in a show that chooses to look forward, PA. We choose to move on. We choose to wash our hands.
And by the way, whenever a wild highlight comes flying in, that means we have Hynes.
That means we have Hynes. We are going to move forward is exactly what we're going to do. And you know what? If the Vikings had won that border battle, we would have been polite, cordial to our coworker, to our buddy, Double B, back at the studio.
Always happen.
We would have taken the high road, absolutely, if things had not transpired the way they have. So I think in this case, the best we can do is look ahead to Darnold and the Seahawks and Reek Woolen and Charbonnet, and all the things that are ahead of us. And maybe in between that, Thanksgiving's ahead.
And maybe Hynes can call like right now and we can hear that wild highlight so we can move on and not have to deal with the snot-nosed kid.
Well, and that's the problem. Is Brett's mic is on. And I can hear him because just like as many Packers fans, there's a breathy.
Well, you say he's a mouth breather.
There's a mouth breathing tone to it. I can hear it.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
PA. I told you that in confidence.
I didn't say that. I'm sorry, okay?
Well,
I'm sorry.
He's literally and figuratively snot-nosed today. So as we bide our time just begging and pleading for this wild highlight so we get to talk about the hockey team and not even think about the fact that there's this border battle cloud hanging over our head back in St. Louis Park.
You know what?
The quicker we get to that highlight.
Johansson carries in right side. Johansson hit the late homecoming favor.
That's a stray of kindness.
Thank you. Brock Faber ripped it under the crossbar. It's a shorthanded goal. And the Wild have a 2-0 lead.
Joining us now is Minnesota Wild head coach John Hynes and his squad, our squad, the State of Hockey's pro squad, has won 5 consecutive, including 2 consecutive shutouts. Said squad is at Chicago tomorrow, day in front of Thanksgiving, and you'll hear that one on FM 100.3 KFAN, and Hynes joins us now. John, it's Paul Allen. Good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm great, PA. Good morning to you, too.
Right on. Thanks for the call, too. And early happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, Coach. And you and the gang get to spend the holiday at home. That's a nice little breather amidst the grind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. We got the day. We got the game tomorrow night in Chicago, and then we get back pretty late Wednesday night. But be nice to have a little day. Little Thanksgiving Day on Thursday, and then we tee it up again on Friday at 2:30. So it's a quick turnaround, but it'll be nice, I think, for the guys to get a little bit of breather and watch some football, relax, and get ready to go.
And for you, I know Foligno is a big football fan. I think Faber is too. But I know you like football in the National Football League. So, is it football and a feast for you Thanksgiving, or is there work to do with the first place Abs here the next day?
It'll be a little bit of a combo. I think we used yesterday. We had a day off yesterday, so we've kind of prepped for Chicago and Colorado, knowing it's going to be a quick turnaround. So probably Thanksgiving morning, do a little work, get organized, and then I think the game started around noon. So little work in the morning, and then relax in the afternoon, and early to bed and get ready for Friday.
So wait a second, you had a day off in Winnipeg? Well, with respect, what was that like?
We traveled after the game.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, holy cow, not a lot to do there. How did Nico Sturm exit the Winnipeg game? No worse for the wear, right?
No, it seems like Sturmy should be good. He's ready. He should be good to practice today, and so that's good. It was nice to have him back, and I think it's good for him to get a game under his belt. Tough physical game, so for him to come out feeling pretty good is a real positive for him and us.
Yeah, I think he won 3 faceoffs in that game. 56% faceoff guy. Holy cow. I mean, is that like his calling card? Is that where he helps the most?
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we got him among a few others, but his faceoffs are really important, and I think he's a guy that I think can help free up some tough starts for other guys, whether it's in D-zone faceoffs against their other team's top faceoff guys or penalty kill, things like that. That's where he brings a ton of value for us in that area for sure.
And he's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but he's been strong on the penalty kill all of his career, I believe. I think that's another calling card. So, like with that, how can he help? How can he help there with you guys?
Well, penalty killing is important. I think we've really found our footing there. The guys have done a really good job, particularly in November, with us getting our footing there and making a difference in the games. And Sturmy's going to add to that. He's, face-offs are huge on the penalty kill. If you can win him and get it clear, it's a big part of the penalty kill, so he can help us there. He's a big, strong kid. He's got great range. He's got a long stick. He's a big body for shot lanes and the ability to pressure pucks and things like that. So looking forward to getting him, keep getting him back in, and I know he's going to make a difference for us in those areas.
Joel Eriksson Ek, one of the best overall players you have, one of the better two-way players in the NHL, obviously. But he has 2 goals in his last 4 games and a shorty at Pittsburgh. What's the read on Eriksson Ek's game of late?
Well, he's really, he's at the top of his game right now. He's a fast, powerful skater. He's checking unbelievable. His lines playing against the other team's top lines every night. And, not only are they checking those guys, they're outplaying the other team, but he's physical, he's engaged, he's getting to the net front. And, when he plays that style of game, he's just a menace to play against.
Yeah, he had that shorty against Pittsburgh. Faber scored shorthanded at Winnipeg. Boldy had one, I believe, last week. When it comes to scoring shorthanded goals, Coach, what are keys to accomplishing that without the PK getting leaky?
Well, a lot of them start from pressure. They just start from the good organized pressure in your own end. And, if you can dislodge some pucks or, the power play is trying to keep the puck in, and if you're in the right routes and you have good pressure on the puck, then you can generate some offense from that.
Is that something coaches can see on film? Like you watch an opponent's power play after power play after power play, and, you see that, maybe something's happening where maybe you can jump something?
Yeah, you know what? It's not so much jumping something or where they could telegraph that they're going to give up shorthanded goals. I think a lot of it comes from, as I said, I think a lot of the shorthanded goals will come from your penalty kill forecheck, where you can turn a puck over at the defensive blue line and they're all coming in their breakout. So if there's a turnover, it's an automatic odd man rush. And a lot of times in pressure, when you look at a lot of power plays, usually there's only one player at the top. So if you can pressure rebounds or rims or bobbled pucks on the other team and get the pressure, there's only one guy left to beat.
John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, victorious 5 consecutive. They're at Chicago tomorrow night on KFAN, then here on Friday at Grand Casino Arena to take on the rough and tumble Colorado Avalanche. Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov. Boldy and Kaprizov, holy cow. I mean, they seem to have settled into a nice little match race for goal scoring supremacy. Each has 13. But what has been solid with their overall games during this excellent month of play?
Well, I think those two guys are highly skilled players and highly talented players, but when they play both sides of the puck, both of them care about keeping the puck out of their own net, and they're driven by scoring as well. But when they play a really complete two-way game, it allows them, when they're fully engaged on both sides of the puck, usually that's when they're generating a lot of offense. And they're doing it in numerous ways. They're getting they're shooting it right past the goalie when they have opportunities. They're getting tips, they're getting rebounds, so they're creating offense and scoring in multiple ways, and that's what makes those guys hard to defend.
It I would imagine was dynamite getting Bogosian back, and from what I did see in the Winnipeg game, despite having a football game in Wisconsin, Bogosian seemed to be a beast at Winnipeg. What's great about having him back?
Well, he's a big, strong skating defenseman. He's physical. His skating is a factor, whether it's offensively being able to join the rush or break pucks out. But he's just he's a hard guy to play against. He's big and strong. He plays hard, and he contributes on both sides of the puck. I think he does a nice job because of his skating, whether it's rush defense or closing in the defensive zone. But also he can get back for pucks on the breakout. He has the speed to be able to join the rush as a defenseman and be a factor because he's a good skating guy. So it's nice to see him back.
Time for a few more for John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, and at Chicago tomorrow night, which means Connor Bedard. You guys have Zeev Buium. There's, let's say, Celebrini in San Jose, Matthew Schaefer with the Islanders. I mean, some big-time young stars all around the league, man. Is there a trend of any sort developing with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the way that the game has changed and the rules have changed, these kids are coming up and they've played on big stages, whether it's college or junior or the World Juniors. Some of them have gone over to the World Championships, the men's senior World Championships, like Zeev did last year with not a lot of pro experience. So I think these kids are exposed to high stakes environments. So they're used to those things, but also they're all physically fit. They're strong. They're fast. They're skilled. And I think that's the way the league's trending. So it's been interesting to see how many young guys can come in and be impact players.
What are you liking about Zeev these days?
I think Zeev continues to grow. I think he's finding opportunities when he can use his offensive instincts and create offense. But I also think that he's learning, when you're coming out of your own end, particularly like on breakouts or neutral zone transitions, that, it's just moving the puck quick and simply. And, a lot of times in the NHL, it's a much more organized league. Players are in the right spots all the time. So his ability, I think, to be able to move pucks quick, have been good. And I think he's learning, how important, defending is at this level because of talented players. So it's good to see him. He's a coachable kid and he's willing to play both sides of the puck. And we got to keep helping him grow, and he's got to continue to put the work in.
What about Connor Bedard, who you get tomorrow night? He's been around for a little while now and has better players around him now, and then probably will get better as the years go on. What the maturation of Connor Bedard's game? What are you noticing?
Yeah, I think he's a more mature player. He's always been, I think, a deadly offensive threat, but he's a guy now. He's kind of creating offense, like I talked about with Boldy and Kaprizov, creating offense in multiple ways. He's, when he has open ice and easy ice, he's going to be a deadly threat. But you see him more in the offensive zone and getting into the hard areas offensively, and so he's definitely taken a step this year in those areas.
Final one for John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild. Your goalies are they're responding. They seem to be responding to the other's quality performances, and obviously, they're going to represent on their own as well as they can. But it just seems from afar, John, that they're pushing each other in a roundabout way. Is that the right way to look at it?
Yeah, I think it's a great situation to have. Both of them both guys are playing at the top of their game. They have a great relationship. I think they support each other, but they also push each other. So I think it's a healthy competition. And I think it's nice when you have a goaltending tandem and the guy next to you, when it's his turn to play, he's gonna put his best foot forward and try to put the team in a position to win. And I think it gives the other guy an opportunity sometimes to take a little bit of a mental break, work with our goalie coach, Freddie Shabbat. So they both stay mentally and physically, I think, fresh and on top of their game. So it's been great to see them play the way they played and also continue to push each other in a healthy competition.
And off that, lastly, how do you determine with your goalies? How do you determine which one to use when they both are rested?
Sometimes it would go. We've kind of gone with a little bit of a rotation lately, where both guys, we want to keep them both playing because they're competitive. And like I said, I think when the guy that doesn't play, he has the opportunity to get a little bit of extra practice and work on specific things to his game. Sometimes we might look at the opponent, the opponent's strengths versus, both the goalies are a little bit different. So sometimes we look at, what the opponent brings to the table versus which goaltender we would want to play that night.
Fantastic, my man. Happy Thanksgiving. The radio show gives thanks for your inclusion weekly, and we look forward to seeing you soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, PA. Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Yep. See you, bud. John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, the streaking Minnesota Wild, victorious 5 consecutive, 7 of the last 8. This has been a November to remember for for the state of hockey's Minnesota Wild, and they're going to get Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks on the road tomorrow, and that'll be on KFAN. Then the Avalanche are here, middle of the afternoon on Friday, day after Thanksgiving. 9 to noon also gives thanks for all of you who listen to the radio show and KFAN, if and or when you do. So for Nordo and Double B, I'm Paul Allen. 9 to noon continues around the corner with some strays of kindness, and that's part of the Timber Tech What's on Deck set list that does include Ben Gessling from the Star Tribune. He'll be here about 10 o'clock, courtesy of Standard Heating and Air, and Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell will join, as he is wont to do on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock from the TCO radio studio as part of the well-respected, efficient, responsible, and vast and ever-expanding Vikings Entertainment Network, KO, at about 11 o'clock. And yes, J.J. McCarthy and the latest news with him as part of the mix with the head coach and, of course, the scribe. You're listening to 9 to noon at FM 100.3 KFAN. Good morning.
We all remember that one teacher who made a difference, believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Well, now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher. It's powered by Donors Choose. Nominated outstanding public school teacher has gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now. iHeartRadio.com/teachers. iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Nine to noon has made an executive decision, ladies and gentlemen, and we apologize for the late preparation with this, but it's called Catching Strays of Kindness. And here's the deal. Sunday from about, when do you think the second half began? Like real world time?
Yeah, it's called like 1:30 p.m.
So we're going to say Sunday from 1:40 p.m. when we had the oblong object glance off one of our guys, giving it to those guys at the 5. Those guys scored. Those guys went up by 11. And that plays into what Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said after the L at Lambeau, where the Minnesota Vikings were border battered. He said paraphrasing, but I think I'm going to get every single word right. Our margin for error currently is razor thin.
Yeah.
End quote. So when you go down a couple of scores like that and you got everything going on that you got going on, well, you're probably not going to win the game. So from, let's say, 1:45 p.m. Sunday all the way through 9 to noon yesterday, and Talkback Central and Frustration Central with the fan base, which is appreciated, which is understood. It's appreciated. Beats the alternative of apathy. And through last night, Finchie's team getting run down by Sacramento, losing in overtime. That wasn't cool because OKC's on the horizon. We have Finchie to start the show tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Start the show with Fincho. Start the show with Fincho. I'll start getting some 5 in a row for Fincho. 5 in a row for Fincho.
Yeah, that's losing games to teams this time of year like that.
Yes.
Matters in April.
Yes.
So go beat OKC and level the scales.
Go what?
Go beat OKC and level the scales.
Yep. Let's go beat OKC and to ruin their Thanksgiving.
Are they undefeated?
No, they lost one.
They can be beaten.
They're vulnerable.
They are.
Hey, give them the gizzard, Finchie.
17-1.
Give them the gizzard. So after all of that,
you ate the gizzard as a kid, didn't you?
And a good night's sleep for 9 to noon, not together, separately, but nevertheless, nice and rested. It's time to put the darkness and all that comes with it, including strays of negativity, the outrageous strays of negativity, 9 to noon at times faces to the side, and catch strays or deliver strays of a different variety. And good morning. Catching strays, by the way, is a popular term these days with people of all ages, including yours truly at 59. Soon to be 60 in a month and a half. Oh, goody. Like catching strays. So-and-so caught a stray out of nowhere. For instance, to wit, Nordo.
Yes.
Use this for the second time. See if you can't laugh this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been known to sit on team buses after W's and L's and put on the Bose headphones and listen to Vikings Fan Line with Eric Nordquick and Ron Johnson, one of the best receivers in the history of Golden Gophers football.
Yeah.
And, jot a few things down here and there to, hit the Monday show and pretend to Nordo and everybody else that I'm actually listening to more than I do. I'm just kidding. I've got to stop tearing people down to feel better about myself.
You're just trying to see if you can catch the producer slipping.
Well, you caught a stray.
I did.
You just caught a stray. That's what catching a stray is.
Oh, goodness.
So, like I said this yesterday, but I'm listening to Fan Line on bus number 5 outside of the loading dock at Lambeau Field, lamenting getting border battered. And Nordo saw Dak Prescott throw an errant pass Sunday, and he cracked wise about J.J. McCarthy.
I had to.
Which means the concussed quarterback, quote, caught a stray.
He did.
End quote. Here's another example of catching a stray. Paul Charchian. Paul Charchian may have left the great state of Minnesota in the Friday football feast and relocated to some rest stop laden area outside of St. George, Utah, but it doesn't mean he can't catch strays. He might catch one later in the show today if we have time. And here's what I mean. If Charch catches a stray later, that means Nordo and I will be talking about those led by him rooting for the Minnesota Vikings to lose the rest of their games from 4-7 to attain the very best draft pick they possibly can get. I can't say I'm in lockstep with that approach.
No, I cannot either.
I don't think Nordo is, but
I'm definitely not in lockstep with it.
That's how old Churchy Birchie has been known to operate when the playoffs seem to be a foregone or a fading conclusion, and the darkness associated with that. From 4-7. So
see, you say, you're 59 and you're going to turn 60, I think, just a couple months from now, actually.
Yeah, you think I'm not?
And you'll use terminology. You're trying to, you're staying hip and with it with, catching strays.
Yeah.
That's fire in the chat.
Well, you texted
bars.
me Bay this morning.
I did, yes.
Who in the heck says Bay? And it's the first time you ever said BAE to me, tying it to a basketball player and a box score.
Well, in a daily fantasy basketball league, you never touch another man's waiver bay.
That's a good point.
And Milwaukee's A.J. Green is my waiver bay.
Yeah.
And you took him.
Yeah.
And
no, I didn't take him.
There
I
are
was
negative
teasing
feelings.
You.
Okay. So
yeah, I was going to take him so he could.
Today.
Well, because we're playing each other this week in League Freak. I'm in first place. Nordo's in last. And what he did to my team Feng Shui last night should be felonious in 48 states.
Well, so
we're trying to get under his skin and find players he's cut so I can get his plays. AJ Green from Milwaukee, we might bring you in for a day, put you on the practice squad so you can give me the Cons plays.
Well, if it were, I hope it works as well as picking up Ben Sims to get the Packers plays recently, as that has turned out. But
what are you talking about? The Vikings defense played quite well a majority of that game, though. See, no, those aren't the strays.
Yeah,
now, look, Flores caught a stray out of. I'm like, seriously. All right, 9 to noon was, is, and always will be
strays of kindness.
Hashtag Faith Radio.
Yes, and that was my point. At 40 years old, I'm not 59. I'm not as hip and with it as you are, but I still...
Yeah, I'm cool.
I watch these games on Sundays, Mondays, and the occasional Friday, and I say, I just want this team to win.
All right.
And more so than ever, as negative as things have been, just show me some success.
No, you're
I need a
me.
piece of success. I need productivity. I cannot root for this team to tank. I can't do it.
Now you're kind of bugging me.
Uh-oh.
And so here's what's going to happen, because
now I'm going to catch a real stray.
Got a little side of me right now where I feel like tearing others down verbally to feel better about myself.
All right, here I am.
Inadequate as I feel right now. So here's how payback may take place with that. This Friday, 9 to noon, is at Buffalo Wild Wings Mall of America.
Yes.
For the Friday football
Feast.
And I think maybe I'll text you at 8:50 saying I can't make it. I'm feeling dizzy. Okay. So stop it, damn it. Just stop it. Just stop teasing. Well, Alicia will have Green. Or Alec. Well, maybe Parker can show up for 2 hours.
Yeah.
9 to noon was, is, and always will be. Hashtag Faith Radio, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to deliver strays of kindness. It's Thanksgiving week. Who wants the freaking gizzard? It's Thanksgiving week. Time to jettison unanswerable questions and to start giving thanks and praise for what's good in the 9 to noon sports world. Strays of kindness, you say?
Yeah.
And the first will be delivered to the Minnesota Wild.
I love that.
They're catching the first stray of kindness. Seriously, well done. Well done. I mean, way to get hot. And through Monday, I didn't look at the scores last night, so if it changed, big deal. But we know we have 28 points. What I'm saying here is I don't know if anybody else has more points than they did yesterday, and quite honestly, I couldn't care less, and that means every team in the NHL except the Wild caught a stray, and that's not the purpose of strays of kindness. Okay, 3-2. So the Wild has 28 points. 28 points into yesterday's games would have us third in the best division in hockey. That would be our division.
And that's where we are, yeah.
28 points would have us in a tie for second. Did they happen to be in the West? And 28 points would have them tied for second in something called the Metropolitan. And 28 points would have them first in the Atlantic. Way to get hot. And we give thanks for you via Stray of Kindness.
Stray of Kindness. And I'm going to dig deeper into the Wild.
Well, I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
The 1-2 goalie tandem has become terrific. Shutting out Winnipeg on the road and beat those guys for the first time since 2022-2023 season. Ooh. Faber has scored in 2 of the last 3 and has 5 points the last 3. That's a stray of kindness. Kaprizov has 4 points the last 3 and 11 points this month. Boldy scored 2 times at Pitt. And Eric Zanek, as we mentioned with Hynes, he is heating up. 2 goals and 3 points in the last 3 games. And we are acid tested for class this Friday, middle of the afternoon. It's a home game on KFAN. The Colorado Avalanche are in town. Minnesota Wild with that stray of kindness.
It's a well-due stray. Now,
Wait, I'm not done. No. Just kidding.
I had focused in specifically on Jesper Wallstedt. Strays of kindness. He's not letting any of the strays by him. He swallows them up. Third shutout of the year. I don't think the team's outright even lost a game that he has started 6-0-2.
Wow.
Sub-2 in goals against, 5 goals total in his last 5, for .935 save percentage. The kid absolutely rocks, but his partner in crime between the pipes, though, Philippe Gustafsson, he's got a sub-2 goals against in the month of November. An OT loss and a tight one against, I think they were down in Carolina for an L, but all the same, the tandem that we have in net for the Wild specifically this time of year, something to be thankful for, where it feels like not too long ago, I'm seeing state of hockey go from state of cocky to state of wondering what this season and what the coach and what the future of the whole thing looks like. And now they're winning games and they're right back in the mix, and it's been awesome to watch that.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Those of you who just tuned in to 9 to noon, which has been wine to noon way too frequently of late, well, we are delivering shots with strays of kindness. So those immersed in negativity know they can count on hashtag Faith Radio for some good news, as in good news of the gridiron gospel. That takes us right here. That takes us to this facility in Eagan. Through the losing, let's give thanks and appreciation for defensive lineman Jalen Redmond.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Redmond plays hard every single snap and had a block shot at Lambeau. What's a block shot in football? Well, it's a Kevin O'Connellism. That is a pass defensed by a defensive lineman, and those lead to turnovers.
Well, it's because he knows the power of a completion, and when you take that away from your opponent, that's nothing but good times.
Jalen Redmond has been nothing but good news since arriving, and he gets the Thanksgiving week stray of kindness.
Oh, that's beautiful. I might as well just hang out here in Eagan, too. And of all the things we can look down on potentially with some of our favorite teams, you can't look down on Will Reichard. You can't look down on Will Reichard and all those bombs from 50 plus, and him keeping his oath, might you say, in terms of when he's on the field, it feels guaranteed. As good as he's been in combination. How about the punter? How about 77-yard punts from Ryan Wright? How about that almost old-school coffin corner one at Lambeau that went out at the 2? Of all the things maybe for a 4-7 team that we can nitpick, and there's plenty to do, we're going to go from 9 to noon to forgetting the swoon just for a second to appreciate both Will Reichard and Ryan Wright as members of the Purple.
9 to noon, forgetting the swoon. Kids, that's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar, and it's fire.
Mike check a 1-2-1-2.
Well, that bar fire. The Alabama kicker, you said. You know what? He's not going to get a chance to kick the Minnesota Vikings to a division title, but is incredibly valuable to a team desperate to score. And somehow, in a roundabout way, the Vikings offense just caught a stray, and that's not the purpose of the conversation. Will Reichard, I'm glad you went down that road. Incredibly valuable. Just like Drake Lindsey, quarterback for the Golden Gophers football team. Seriously. Redshirt freshman, though. PJ Fleck, weekly 9 to noon. Lindsey, in the loss at Wrigley, 264, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Gophers fans should beg or offer up some significant NIL money to make sure this Arkansas kid never leaves. He has a swivel. Drake Lindsey has a swivel at a very young age and a very live arm. Drake Lindsey will give Sky Uma a chance to nab some quality playmakers and looks the part of an improving and wonderful quarterback. Drake Lindsey, welcome to becoming the recipient of a 9 to noon Thanksgiving week stray of kindness.
I'm throwing out a stray of kindness to a particular player on the Howl, PA. We have many things to be thankful for this Thanksgiving season. I'm giving up some praise to Julius Randle, a stray of kindness. Now, it's tough timing, I guess. Teams dropped 2 in a row that they probably should have won. That's ugly. And OKC on the horizon. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. However, Julius Randle's playing some of the best ball of his entire career, PA. The scoring's terrific. His efficiency and percentages are terrific. The three ball's falling. He's added defensive intensity. And he's diving for balls in the court. Julius is completely freaking locked in right now. And everything that he contributed a year ago, making him kind of, the second fiddle or the VP to what we need and want out of Anthony Edwards. Julius Randle has only taken that to another level. Now, if you just play in box scores and you look at stats, technically, I think maybe it was 5-6 years ago with the Knicks, he probably had his best career season, like 24-10 and 6 dimes. He's about 20, almost 25. I think 7 boards and change and almost 6 assists. So the numbers look a little bit lower, but based off of what we got last year, it's truly remarkable, and it's an every night situation, which I think is very visible, his impact on this team. Julius Randle is absolutely on fire right now, deserves, certainly, despite these last 2 L's as a team, Julius Randle deserves a massive stray of kindness.
And Chris Finch is he's going to catch a stray right now.
Uh-oh.
I mean, they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But Finchy, the recipient on the right side of a stray of kindness. And here's why. Great respect and appreciation and thanks delivered from 9 to noon, and yours truly for Finchy. Joins weekly and never asks for a dime. Calls in no matter if it's bad or good, and always shoots straight with 9 to noon, which subsequently means shooting straight with the audience. Chris is salt of the earth, and he's one of my favorites via the authenticity department. In all my years of doing radio at AM 1130 KFAN or FM 100.3 KFAN, he'll start 9 to noon tomorrow, day of that OKC game, and that's very cool. So we definitely give thanks to Chris Finch for amplifying 9 to noon.
Now, I'm just going to throw, I don't know how many you have left in the tank, PA.
Done.
I just have one more, and we'll probably have to dive into this next segment. I'm just thinking, a couple days away, there's going to be turkey, there's food. I don't know what the practice schedule is. I think it's a lighter day for the Vikings, given the opportunity in the afternoon for some family time. I'm just going to throw a stray of kindness to Max Brosmer.
Max Brosmer, you say?
Max Brosmer.
What do you got?
Former Gopher. Former undrafted kid that is now on the roster of your Minnesota Vikings. I'm just going to leave this maybe a little more in the next segment. Just a stray of kindness thinking about Max Brosmer for no particular reason. That I hope that he has an unbelievable week, an unbelievable holiday, and knows how appreciated he is within the football-loving covenant here locally from the college fan base into the pros. And just thinking strays of kindness, why not hand one out to QB2? As it is at this particular moment, Max Brosmer, a happy Thanksgiving indeed.
And Brosmer is part of Vikes Bites Around the Corner, as the Con said. He also makes the mix with Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, joining 9 to noon, an hour and 20 minutes from now, about 11 o'clock. And we weekly play a talkback for the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. It's a TCO radio studio Talkback Tuesday. So what you do is you go to the free iHeart audio app, leave a talkback for the head coach. Nordo will choose one. You get to be heard on the air with Kevin O'Connell, and he will respond to your question. So you can start filing those reports right now, and we will play one back between 11 and 11:25. It's 9:42. Vikes Bites are next, courtesy of 9 to noon.
The Fan and the Vikings are teaming up for Toys for Tots. You can join us live at Shields in Eden Prairie Tuesday, December 2nd from 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. for our annual broadcast presented by Unreal. Bring a toy, spread some joy, and if you're one of the first 50 donors to each show, you'll score a sweet KFAN Unreal Winter Beanie. KFAN.com/toys for all the details. KFAN.com/toys.
Vikes Bites, 9 to noon, brought to you by Thousand Hills, lifetime grazed, grass-fed beef.
Colby Wooden.
You can shop online. Box of meat shows up at your doorstep. You can also go to your local Coburns, Co-ops, Kowalski's locations. They're proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics. They love the Gophers. They love the maroon and gold, and they're a Clearwater, Minnesota company. Thank you, Thousand Hills. And maybe we'll start with maroon and gold. The head coach speaking with the media yesterday, unveiling some news that quarterback J.J. McCarthy Upon returning or making the flight and the traveling home from Lambeau Field in Green Bay, started to exhibit some minor symptoms related potentially to a concussion, had him evaluated, and out of caution, I don't know if he said abundance of caution, I don't have the quote in front of me, but let's just say he did. Out of abundance of caution, they put him in the concussion protocol, which now means that if he does not pass the protocol throughout the week, he was in meetings yesterday and such, expected to be around the facility throughout the week, but if he is unable to participate and practice at a high enough level, satisfactory enough level, get through the protocol, it would be assumed that Max Brosmer, undrafted rookie QB from the University of Minnesota by way of New Hampshire, that he would be in line to make his NFL debut Sunday afternoon at Seattle. The hits keep on coming for JJ, but also potentially a massive opportunity for Mr. Brosmer. What do you make of all of that, PA?
The neurological pathways belonging to Max Brosmer will be addressed in depth with Ben Gessling, the scribe from the Star Tribune, about 10 minutes from now, and with Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, an hour and 10 minutes from now.
Vikes Bites!
Vikes Bites!
Regardless of who starts, what's our level of concern, PA, for both Christian Darrisaw and Donovan Jackson not being able to finish the game? And at one point, I was watching it while at an appearance, so I'll admit I did not see that Darrisaw had left and would not return. I didn't notice his absence until Rashawn Gary got around Justin School and forced what would be the first of two interceptions on the stat sheet for the kid QB. Mm-hmm. Then I look into it. Okay, Darrisaw's out. That's no good. Oh, wait, Donovan Jackson's out. That's not good.
Right.
That's worrisome into a game regardless of who the passer is going to be against the Seattle front on Sunday.
Well, Darrisaw had the knee, which basically is 13 months ago, close to it, 12 and a half months ago. So then you sweat that whole thing, you get him back. And I think when he left, it was two separate things. It was an ankle and something else. So hopefully he's able to practice this week and give whichever quarterback's going to play the best opportunity to execute his toil. With Brandel, if Brandel has to play, then Brandel has to play. But Donovan Jackson, that's a tough guy right there. Remember, he played a game. What game was it? It was like the Cincinnati game or something with a broken wrist.
Was he injured in the Falcons game? Played
Thank you.
the Cincy game,
Yep.
and then missed maybe the first of the international bits.
I think he missed both. And then he came back. But the bottom line is all you hear about him, pain tolerance is high. Read something this morning that indicated that, or maybe O'Connell said it, that he wanted to go back into the game Sunday at Lambeau. So that doesn't seem to be copyright Carole King so far away when it comes to the earth moving under his feet. Copyright Carole King. I got no idea on a Tuesday whether they're going to play on a Sunday, but the first injury report is tomorrow. Practices begin tomorrow, and we will have better information moving throughout the week.
Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites.
Thank you, Thousand Hills. I know that the border battle is bad as it was. The second half in particular is bad as it was. The team ran for 15 attempts in the first half, and I think it was 15 carries between the backs, 86 rushing yards. And I'm curious, from your vantage point, from the Vox box at Lambeau, conservative game plan, this, that, and the other thing. It was 10-6 at half. We weren't getting explosive. We can go down the road on all the QB bits as we know and have. But in the end, just at a base level, his commitment to the run in the first half, finding productivity there, do you think there's anything the coach can take from an otherwise awful game and an L in the border battle? I get it. But taking from the run game what he was able to produce with Mason and Jones, working that in throughout the first half.
In the presser yesterday, when Kevin was talking about it, the way he put it after watching back the game was that he got a little conservative, that he went on the conservative side in the first half, which meant running more in different spots.
Yeah.
And that segued into the attack mentality that, and I'm going to bring this up with Kevin and I'll get it all squared away from a verbiage standpoint, but the ability to attack, the desire to attack, what attacking has meant to the Minnesota Vikings overall winning, but specifically offensively. the importance of being able to attack. I'm going to ask him about that today and see what he meant, and what are some of the keys when it comes to that, and we'll see how he mixes in the running equation. Well, the running game, no matter if you're doing it 39% like 2022 or whatever percent it's at this year, it is vital, and everybody in the world knows it, because you don't have a play action game if you don't have some effectiveness with your running game. That's why in 2023, after there was no Dalvin Cook, we, of course, are going to pull for Alexander Mattison and pull for whatever running backs du jour made up the room that year. But the 9 to noon main concern in the offseason and up to the season was, is anybody going to respect the explosive nature or lack thereof of Alexander Mattison? And how will that impact safeties and linebackers taking bites of that cheese because they think you're going to run? Well, with Mason and Jones, it's different, where they do have to respect that. And we did see that to a certain extent on Sunday, even though things didn't work out the right way. Good question. The ability and desire to attack is something that resonated with yours truly from KO's press conference yesterday. We'll hit him with that about an hour from now.
Back to the O-line for a second. Ryan Kelly returning to the field on Sunday. Now, I do remember a particular play. I think it was a sack by Devontae Wyatt in the end, but it was started with Micah Parsons inside working opposite Ryan Kelly and sent Ryan Kelly flying. Other than that, bad moment, tough moment, resulted in a sack. Did anything else stand out to you in terms of Ryan Kelly getting back on the field for the Purple at Lambeau?
Excellent question. The early stages of the game, you could tell he was making an impact, picking off guys in certain situations. But I would imagine as the game went on, having not played in quite some time, at least as this season goes, that the fatigue and the wear and tear is going to set in. So he needed that race.
Yeah,
it seems like he came out of that race okay. And now he'll be heading into a race in the Cappuccino capital, going against the likes of crafty veteran Leonard Williams, 11th year from USC, Byron Murphy II, second year from Texas, first round pick in 2024, 16th overall. Beef eaters behind them include Brandon Peely, third year USC, and something called Mike Morris, third year from Michigan. Then on the outside, they have Uchenna Nwosu and DeMarcus Lawrence. Who knew? The former Cowboy, DeMarcus Lawrence, with Boye Mafe behind him. They all could be A-gap muggers, but Murphy the second and Leonard Williams and Peely, they're going to be right up in Kelly's mix, and they're all big, and he better be ready to go.
Last Vike Bite for you.
Yeah.
And this is kind of in the realm of strays of kindness.
Yeah.
It's a 4-win team, and what we expected versus what we've gotten, a lot of it hasn't worked out. Only 2 penalties a game, the last 2, PA. Only 2 flags with Chicago, only 2 flags at Lambeau. What do you think? Was it the 8 false starts against the Ravens that just had everybody looking in the mirror, trying to figure out how to operate differently? Because that is a very stark statistical change versus what we saw through the first 9.
Yeah, after the 8 false starts at home. I mean, it's clear there was a flogging. And there was a flogging potentially of many. And why wouldn't there be? I mean, the fan base would come to expect it, right? Because the head coach during and after the Chargers game was made out to be some barbarian sacrificing man on national television. So I don't exactly know what turned around. With the attention to detail being first and foremost, playing responsibly, and just paying better attention. But that undoubtedly is something that has taken a positive turn. We head into the second part of the radio program from TCO PC, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, home to your Minnesota Vikings, with a Ben Gessling, beloved scribe, courtesy of Standard Heating and Air, the beat writer covering the Vikings for the Star Tribune. Benny G joins 9 to noon next on KFAN.